is going down and the weekend's here. Save my soul. I can feel it coming, troubles in the air. Oh my Lord, the light is going down and the weekend's here. Save my soul. Who's on with me? Who's on with me? Save my soul. I can feel it coming, troubles in the air. Oh my Lord, the light is going down and the weekend's here. Save my soul. Who's on with me? Who's on with me?
Welcome to the NFL on EA Sports. Anticipation is mounting for today's game. We've got two quarterbacks looking to make an impact. It's the Seahawks going up against the Bills. So let's send you up to Orchard Park, New York. Standing by, Brandon Gott and Charles Davis.
Thank you very much, Larry. We are here on a beautiful afternoon for football. Straight ahead, we've got a good one on tap here between the Seattle Seahawks and the Buffalo Bills. That's fielded in the end zone. And he will be brought down here at about the 17-yard line. Wilson on first down. They set up the screen to Rawls. And he's taken down, but not before he gets this across the 25-yard line.
When you run a screen pass really well, you got to like the look of it because so many parts come together to make it work well. The offensive linemen, where they're faking people out, the back slipping out there, catching the football, then all of them going together as one unit downfield. A really nice pickup.
On first down, Wilson. He hits Jermaine Kearse. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line.
And when you're playing a quarterback with some experience and some moxie, you enter the danger zone when you decide to blitz him, because if he's able to diagnose as he did on that play, he can hurt you downfield.
He reads defenses so well, doesn't he?
He really does, and the best part about that play for him, I don't think that was his primary target.
I don't think so either.
I think he had the read, figured out where the blitz was coming from, and went to a secondary target for a really nice game.
Now a quick give to the fullback, Marcel Reese. And he's across the 40, 3 extra yards to the 43. It'll be a 5-yard pickup there, so from 2nd and 13, they're back to a more manageable 3rd and 8. And a lot of the weight of this offense falls on the shoulders of the running back.
That's because the offense knows if they give him any openings, any opportunities, he can turn it into a big play at any time.
On 3rd down, Wilson. And he finds Jimmy Graham. And he's got the first before he's brought down at the 39-yard line. They call it a gain of 19, and it moves the chains. And the pocket's been protected pretty good here so far in the opening drive.
We always talk about confidence in runners and catchers and quarterbacks. How about the protection detail? They're not allowing anyone near the guy throwing the football.
Credit him with a 1-yard gain there to make it 2nd and 9. Quickly now, a look at the Buffalo defense.
Kyle Williams never gets the credit he deserves as a defensive tackle, but every offense in the league knows how difficult it is to block him.
Now Wilson on 2nd down. Under a heavy rush, and down he goes. Jerry Hughes coming hard from that linebacker spot. He drops him for a loss of 11. The 7th play now of this opening drive. This is 3rd and long, though. 3rd and long, it's Wilson. Wide open receiver complete. And he's going to go out of bounds, taking it down inside the 25. He's such a good route runner. Shows it there on 3rd down. Very proficient and a good pass.
And you know what I've observed over the years in the NFL? The better a route runner you are, the more confidence your guy's going to have in you to go to you at important times, because he can trust you being in the right spot, and they connected there and picked up a first down.
Earlier, partner, when discussing Russell Wilson, you said you think he's best when Seattle is running back centric. Is Thomas Rawls the centerpiece going forward there?
I think so, because of what he did 2 seasons ago before he got hurt. Because he runs that offense the way they want it run. One cut, downhill, get upfield, and Thomas Rawls is perfect for that. If he stays healthy, that allows Russell Wilson now to throw the play action, to bootleg passes that really hurt other teams defensively.
And Rawls has youth on his side, just 23. And now here's a sneak, maybe looking to run a little time. They're held again, and do we have a goal line stand brewing? It's 3rd and goal.
Almost want to go Shakespeare here. My kingdom for a yard. Quarterback sneak. Nothing doing.
Better you be careful. Shakespeare might sue you.
Yeah, he might come get me, right? Good luck with that, Bard.
This time, Wilson will throw. And he takes a shot on the release, as this will be incomplete.
Putting pressure on the guy throwing the football is always good, but when you can couple that with contact on him that leads to an incompletion, as we just saw there, that's winning football.
And it appears they'll go for it here on 4th down. A big call on the game's opening drive. They'll try and throw for it with Wilson. And he's got the big tight end Graham. Touchdown, Seattle. Jimmy Graham. There to make the grab. And the Seahawks take the ball down the field and score on their opening drive. And this will give the Seahawks a 7-0 lead. Now to send this one away following the score. Here's Tate to return. And a nice return sets him up pretty good here at the 30-yard line. Back here with Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. We've had the kickoff to begin the first quarter. Now it's time for the second quarter kickoff as they'll take over with the ball 1st and 10. Looking to jam the receivers at the line here. Press coverage look defensively. Now Taylor on 1st down. And it pops free. The collision there jarred the ball loose and brings up 2nd down. CD, wanted to get your thoughts just on the landscape of the offseason for each of these teams. Super Bowl in the rearview mirror, but so much going on. People look at the draft a lot, but there's a lot more that goes into the offseason for these front offices, is it not?
It certainly is, and that means before we get to the draft, you start with the combine. You know, it's held in Indianapolis every year, and you have about 350 of the top prospects coming together to get their physicals and interviews and on-field performance, and all that will get evaluated along with their game tape. And then you've got the free agents, all right? That starts, I believe, in early March, where now the free agents can start moving around to different teams. So your team's starting to take a little bit of shape there, free agency, because then the draft's coming up. You're trying to put your team together with new draft picks, have everyone start to move in one direction, and then you have the OTAs and mini camps. We get to see them on the field for the first time, and we start to get a better idea of how these teams are going to look when the fall begins.
Sideline throw, it's complete. And a nice job there of keeping the toes in bounds.
Was that a receiver? Yeah, actually it was. There's a running back who was a receiver on the play. Ike's been spending time in the receiver drills getting his feet down.
Well, those guys out of the backfield, they got to be good, agile with their feet. He showed the agility there with a toe tap.
No doubt about it. It's like he'd run to ballet school. Got the toes down and stayed in bounds.
And a nice gain of 21 yards. And another example right there, Charles. McCoy is good getting the ball handed to him. He's also dangerous in the passing game.
You put him in space, and you've got trouble as a defense. And they organize that one very well because, you know, the screen game, when they're deceptive that way and they create that space for him, look out. He turned into a heck of a play.
Let's go!
McCoy. And he's going to fight his way forward here for a modest gain. He'll get a nice chunk there on the 1st down run, and it's 2nd and 4.
And once again, leverage wins. The offensive line, lower than the defensive front. They moved them and found some good space for the guy carrying the ball.
2 minutes gone by, 2nd quarter. Looks like the defense in press coverage here.
Here we go!
A give to McCoy. And this one goes nowhere. Losing yardage back at the 22. It's a loss of 2, now 3rd down.
Michael Bennett's versatility, being able to play any position along the defensive front, allows him to make those types of plays. He finds good matchups and gets into the offensive backfield.
And there it works for a tackle for loss. Into double coverage, and it's intercepted. Picked off by the Pro Bowl safety Cam Chancellor. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back. Seattle now ready to march out of the field. And they will simply, Charles, be looking to duplicate what they did last drive when they were able to push it in for 6.
And they hope it'll be that easy, right? To be able to take exactly what happened before, replicate it. They have to make a few additional changes along the way because I'm sure the defense will make some adjustments, but they've got to have great confidence having scored the last time out.
They stay on the ground. Rolls again. And they'll bring him down here right around the 17-yard line. Give him 3 yards and a fresh set of downs.
But we always talk about good down and distance, allowing offenses to expand their playbook. Well, 2nd and 2, that means your playbook's wide open. You can run just about anything. A lot of times, the play caller, he just looks down at his sheet, sees the short yardage runs, and goes to one of those.
Now Wilson on first down. The ball comes out on the hit, but they'll say it's incomplete. A little lull in the action here to go over an offseason storyline that's kind of interesting. L.A. a couple years ago, they have no teams, and now they're going to have 2 with the move from San Diego to L.A. What does that mean for the league and for the Chargers?
It seems like an easier transition, doesn't it, than St. Louis when they moved back to Los Angeles.
Less culture shock.
Less culture shock, less, obviously geography, the whole deal. But it's a transition still is not going to be easy. Remember, they're going to go play in a soccer stadium, essentially, for at least the first couple of years before they share a stadium with the Rams. So that changes things. Obviously, trying to create an identity in the market they haven't been in a long time. They began
looking for Lockett, and it's intercepted. Picked off by the linebacker, Zach Brown. And they will take over at the 29-yard line. Now the Bills offense gets ready to head back onto the field. Looked like they had something going last drive. Then the interception happened. Will they recover?
The memory they need to keep with them is that they did have something going. They were moving the ball on offense, had a nice sequence going. Don't worry about the other part. You can't get that back. Let's go back to what you were doing well before.
I thought you were going to say they need to have no memory, but remember the good part, forget the bad.
I like that even better. How many times when we see an incomplete pass, we just look at the receiver and say, should have caught that one. That was a drop, and we just put it on the offense. How about a little credit for the defense there? They just forced an incompletion.
Yeah, especially after starting in a tough spot defensively, but a good start there on first down.
That gave a little extra confidence there, starting, as you said, in a tough spot and being able to make a play on first down.
Left side here, caught by Clay. It's a gain of 5, and that'll bring up a 3rd down.
When you execute a drag or a crossing route really well and give them a chance to let it develop a little bit, you can gain some significant yardage hitting your tight end on that one.
Let's go! White, nine! Flex round! Flex round!
From the gun on 3rd down, it's Taylor. And this is going to be incomplete. He was trying to get it into Watkins, and that brings up 4th down. Richard Sherman there to knock that one away. We've seen that a few times in his career.
And he played a very tough route really well there. Dig route. Oftentimes you get the impression receivers going deep and tries to get your hips turned and you taking off and running. Instead, he stays square, stays with it, and comes back and makes a play on the ball. One of the best things about him, takes very few false steps.
So after the pick, they can't capitalize for 6, but they do get 3.
And I know in this situation, most of us want to focus on the offense. You know what side of the ball I played on. Let's give that defense a lot of credit. Taking over in a sudden change situation and shutting them down.
Tyler Lockett now on the return. And last year, that would have been a net gain of 5 on the return. This year, he stopped where he would have been if he had taken a knee. And that's at the 25. And out now come the Seahawks. They start on the ground with Rawls. And able to stay on his feet past the 30 to about the 33-yard line. 8 yards on the pickup, and now they'll have some options on 2nd and short. And after the play on the ground, that brings up 2nd down here. On 2nd down, Wilson. They set up the screen to Rawls. And brought down, but not before reaching the 45-yard line. 12 yards there as they move the chains.
They ran that one well, and not only did they pick up a nice chunk of yardage on the screen, they sent a message to the defense. Rush the passer all you want, but you better be careful. We can hit you going back the other direction.
They go play action here on 1st down. He couldn't quite hold it. Got hit. Ball pops out. Incomplete. Let's look ahead for a quick minute. We don't have the schedules yet for next year, but what we do have are the 5 international games that will be played, 4 in London and then 1 again in Mexico, Jacksonville, Baltimore, Miami, New Orleans, Cleveland, Minnesota, Rams, and Arizona. Those in London, and then Mexico's going to get a great game. The Raiders and New England.
Yeah, you're exactly right. And just think about the ones in London. Remember, they're splitting them between the 2 different stadiums in London, so they get a different flavor in all these places. But Mexico, for the 2nd straight year, the Raiders are coming to town. That should be a whole lot of fun.
Should be a ton of fun and a very good matchup. The intended target, Doug Baldwin, and it'll bring up 3rd down.
Sure, that pass was incomplete as they made an attempt to get a big one downfield. But that's okay because the second part of that is if you don't get the completion, at least you've told the defense you're trying to stretch them out a little bit, and they may have to change accordingly.
Looking for Baldwin, intercepted. Picked off by Stephon Gilmore. And the return comes to a halt right at the 44-yard line. Back onto the field now comes the Bills offense. And this is a spot late in the clock near midfield, though. Maybe take a couple chances, see if you get in field goal range.
You do that if you have trust. And this should be a position now.
And now this is intercepted. My goodness. A great read, and it's picked off.
Damn.
And his guys have got it back at the closing stages of the first half. And Seattle now ready to march onto the field. And with time quickly fading here in the second quarter, not sure how aggressively, offensively they want to play this.
I think we'll find out just how much they trust their guys in this situation if they decide to take a shot.
They go back to the air here after the INT. And Wilson's going to be intercepted a 3rd time. A great read, and it's picked off. And his guys have got it back at the closing stages of the first half. Here's the Buffalo offense now as they get set to take over here. They come out 5 wide, 3 of them to the right side. They go back to the air here after the INT on the last drive. And it pops free. The collision there jarred the ball loose and brings up 2nd down.
On every offensive coordinator, every play caller sheet, they have about 5 or 6 plays per game that they call shot plays or big plays. And you don't get many opportunities to dial them up. And they just did. And they drop it with a great chance to make a big play. That's going to hurt.
And that is incomplete, stopping the clock with 5 seconds to go.
We know it's not an easy job to go out and catch passes when people are trying to tackle you and knock the ball away. But the bottom line is, that's a pass he's got to have and a pass he should have caught.
And the Seahawks have picked it up. We have hit halftime. Still 2 more quarters to go. We'll take a timeout. We'll be back after this. You're watching the NFL, and it's on EA Sports. It's in the game. So both teams have their marching orders, and we're going to in quarter number 3. That'll be taken in the end zone. And he'll get across the 20 before he's brought down at about the 23-yard line. Out come the Bills now as he'll go on offense first here in this 3rd quarter. They're close game, but they're going to need to do a little bit better probably here in half 2, no?
I would agree with that totally. I would guess it in the locker room. They talked about cleaning up some of the errors, but overall, I think they wanted to be positive with them. Guys, we're right there. Just not playing as well as we need to. Let's pick it up, and we still have a chance to win this game.
Yeah, they do. We'll see if they can pick it up. It'll go as a gain of 10 there, and the Bills are going to have a 1st down. And now it looks like they're going to be in the hurry-up.
And that's a good sign right there as we start the 3rd quarter. Because in the first half, not much space to run the football. And as we go into the half, we often think to ourselves, all right, what's the adjustment? What do they have to do? You know what a lot of the adjustments are? No adjustments. You know the game plan, been working on it all week. Maybe a little tweak here or there, a little bit better blocking, and now you're establishing the running game.
This give is to McCoy. And he stopped immediately there. He'll pick up only a yard there, and it'll leave him with a 3rd and 7.
Well, I think we know by now that every run is not going to be broken and get all the way to the end zone. But these short ones still have their value. You can still set up your play action and throw the football. You control the clock because you have the ball and they don't. And often the physicality sets the tempo for the game.
And the offense needs 7 out of this play on 3rd down.
Let's go.
From the shotgun, it's Taylor. And he couldn't hang on to it through the contact. Incomplete.
After watching him drop that slant, I can hear my old coach's voice ringing in my ears right now. You can't run with the ball until you catch it. Trying to get those rack yards.
We are sharing it.
Secured it.
You get on that game and then forget about it.
They is still a cigarette. Like you fussing and it's still a cigarette.
Okay.
So they're going to come to the line here, and it appears trying to go for it on 4th.
Let's go. 1, 9,
Here we go on 4th down with Taylor. And he will find his big tight end over the middle. It'll be a 20-yard gain on the play. And on 4th down, they're able to convert and move the sticks.
And that's a big pickup of a 1st down. And you know that all week, both sides of the ball, offense and defense, are going through every situation. And in this case, the offensive guys had the right play dialed up because defensively, you work on 4th down situations as well.
And deflating for the defense. They can't get the stop here. 2 yards on the pickup there. It'll be 2nd and 8.
Partner, we know today's NFL is really built around the guy throwing the football. And these short runs, they still pay dividends because they can take their toll on a defense and they can add up as the game goes along. You control the clock, you control the ball, and that way you often control the game.
Let's go.
They'll go again to McCoy. And he got blown up. Losing yardage on the play back at the 44. They'll lose a yard, and it brings up 3rd.
I know the focus is LaShawn McCoy here, but the defense is doing a really nice job. He's nowhere near his normal yardage total in this game.
Yeah, such a prolific rusher. Well up over 6,000 for his career. How've they kept him down?
Well, a lot of gang tackling, getting to the point of attack with a number of people, not creating any creases or cracks for him to find his way
I don't
through.
want it.
Because you know, with that agility and vision he has, he can always pop a big run.
And this is caught by Watkins. And he gets it to the 34. Good enough for the 1st. It's a 10-yard pickup, and it moves the chains.
And another thing that makes a comeback route really effective is that oftentimes after you've made the initial move, receivers breaking away from the defensive back, and that makes it a really tough play to defend. A nice chunk of yardage picked up there.
Flex round. Flex round. Here we go. Flex round. Flex round. Flex round. Flex round.
Play clock winding down.
Flex round. Flex round.
Now with the play clock down to 2, we're going to get a timeout here. It's just their first, so 2 remaining as they burn one here in this 3rd quarter. Watkins alone on the left side.
Come on, let's go.
On 1st and 10, it's Taylor. And that's caught left side. It's Woods. Give him a couple on the catch. It's 2nd and 8.
When you see zone defense and you know you've got a drag route on as your primary call, you've got to be really careful as a passer about how far you let your guy go because he might wander into some tough coverage.
2nd down now after the pass completion.
Let's go.
Now Taylor with a draw to McCoy. And he is met at the line of scrimmage, and he goes down right there. Officially no gain on the play, and they're left with a 3rd and 8. They need to get this to the 24 on 3rd down.
Here we go. 1, 9.
Taylor will throw. And he dropped it. Now it was tipped. Altered the ball a little bit, but he dropped it. And now 4th down. A pretty good coverage there, and both of these defenses, they've had good coverage throughout this one.
No doubt about it, and in today's NFL, where we're used to a bit more scoring, this feels almost like a well-pitched game in baseball on both sides where the tension continues to build. Who's going to make the big play?
And that is not going to get there. Oh, he missed it short. It's no good, and this score will stay right where it is. So a bit of a weird kick there. That wasn't an overly long attempt, but that never had a chance.
You almost wonder if he might have maybe got that one on the laces because it kind of knuckled on him a bit. And this one winds up in empty possession.
drive begins with a run by Rawls. And that play went nowhere. Losing yardage. It'll be back at the 36. It's a loss of 4 there, bringing up second down. Offense needs something here on second down. It is second and long. On second down, here's Wilson. The catch is made here by Tyler Lockett. And he'll be taken down, but not before he gets into enemy territory.
But it appears that they read man defense and went to the out route. And what you have to do on that one is the receiver's got to make sure he works the defender towards the middle of the field to give himself space to cut to the outside and have that ball delivered with good timing, and they got it done.
Back now in Buffalo. It's the Seahawks with the possession. They also have the lead here as we get set for the 4th and final quarter. Offense comes to the line now, 1st and 10. They go play action here on 1st down. And he's going to be taken down here. Back across midfield, 3 yards away from midfield at the 47.
Sometimes I watch games and wonder why they use play fakes on certain passing situations, because it's not going to fool anyone. I don't know if that was the case here, but the end result was the same. No one fooled. Quarterback was hit.
On second down, Wilson. And he finds a man with a crossing route. It'll be a pickup of 15 as that'll lead to 3rd down.
Never make the mistake that the slot receivers, especially the little guys like we're watching here, are just quicker than fast. A lot of them combine quickness and speed, and they catch a lot of footballs, as we just saw there.
They run with a power back, Rawls. And he's able to get it to the 33. Good enough for a 1st down.
Everyone understood their role on that play. 3rd and 1. You know the defensive guys, they're trying to get down and get low and get leverage on the offensive lineman, but they didn't allow that to happen. They created a crease and allowed him to get through for a 1st down.
And the Bills are going to get him as he goes down. They bring the safety on the blitz, and he busts through to drop him for an 8-yard loss. Now Wilson on second down. Baldwin with it over the middle. And he gets it all the way down inside the 10 to the 5-yard line.
Now that play will end up on the highlights, and you'll see it all over the place. But what you won't see, the offensive line that bought the extra time, that allowed for the big completion downfield, those guys made that play possible.
5 yards to go for the offense. And he's across the chalk into the end zone. Touchdown, Seahawks. Thomas Rawls, a 5-yard touchdown run. And the Seahawks add on to their lead. Now hold everything here. We're going to get a timeout by the offense. It's just their first. They'll be down to 2 remaining as we step aside here in the 4th quarter. So now after the timeout, they'll try for it one more time. Wilson going to throw for it. It's complete, and he will get into the end zone to extend the lead by 2 more. He hits the big target for the 2-point try. Defenses hate those guys, especially around the goal line.
It's hard to decide who you're going to put on him. Are you going to put a smaller corner on him? Are you going to put a safety who doesn't have maybe the same coverage skills? How about a linebacker? He may have the size, but he's not used to really covering in space. That's why the tight end gives you such a great advantage when you're throwing the football.
Yeah, here come the Bills. And they had compiled a pretty long drive last time. Unfortunately, though, it ended with no points after the missed field goal.
And that can hurt the psyche of a team, because as they drove downfield, you know you're never supposed to count points in your mind until they go up on the board. But let's face it, we've been there. We've seen teams before. They were counting on those points. They didn't get them. Can they come back now, start over again, and grind it out?
1 man in the backfield. That's McCoy. And they'll give it to him here. And he goes nowhere. He'll lose yardage back at the 17. That's going to go as a loss of a yard, and it'll be 2nd down.
We just saw another example of how the defense is winning this game. Really at the point of attack, the offensive line is just getting pushed around. I think now as a play caller, you got to give them a little bit of help. Maybe keep your tight ends a little bit more. Maybe the running backs help you a little bit with the pass blocking. But you've got to help them get some confidence because you can't abandon the play calling right now.
Incomplete pass on second down. Let's see what the offense draws up here on third. They come up in an empty set. 4 wide receivers, 1 tight end. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. K.J. Wright coming in to drop him for a loss of 8, and it'll be 4th down. All right, they're going to try and keep hope alive here on 4th down. They're going for it.
Let's go! Red 38! Red 38! Flex round! Flex round!
Here we go. It's Taylor on 4th down. Man open right side. It's the tight end Clay. Time for a break. We'll come back to wrap this one up after this. Really nice starting field position here for the offensive unit. First down, this is Rawls. And he'll fight his way down right around the 12. 2 yards on the carry there. It'll be 2nd down. 2nd down following the run.
In order to play really good run defense when you're playing a 3-4, those 3 guys up front, the nose tackle and the guys they call the defensive ends.
And he is in for the Seattle touchdown. Jimmy Graham, a beast in the red zone with his 2nd touchdown of the game. And the Seahawks find a way to stretch their lead. And that one makes this a 19-point game. Hauschka to send this one away following the score. This is taken about 7 yards deep. Some might have returned that one. He won't. He'll go down to a knee, and they'll start the drive from the 25. And the Bills offense comes out ready to take over. They're down big here late. I don't know. You just one last drive here for pride?
Some people like to do that. I remember playing for a guy once. We were down huge, and someone said, "Coach, what do you want to call?" He just waved a hand like, "Who cares? Let's get out of here and do something some other time." But some teams like to do something at the end to feel a little bit better as they continue to move forward.
Yeah, probably just want to put this one behind them. Looking left side for Watkins, and he's got him. And he'll be taken down, but not before he gets into enemy territory. And at this stage, down in the second half, looks like they just wanted to find a way to get it in the hands of their playmaker, and they did.
I think you're exactly right. I don't think the coordinator's looking at his play sheet and trying to figure out which play will work well. He's trying to figure out how to get the ball to the playmaker that you just described.
Now, whistles come in. We're going to get a timeout here by the offense. That'll leave them with just 1 remaining in this 4th quarter of play. Throwing now, Taylor on 1st down. He's going to let it fly. And he's going to be intercepted a 3rd time. Picked off by Deshaun Shedd. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back. The Seahawks offense now, they get ready to come back onto the field. They come into enemy territory, and I don't care what the matchup is in the National Football League. You're up like this late in the game on the road. This feels pretty good.
Oh, it feels fantastic. Anytime you get a road victory in the NFL, that's a big-time accomplishment, and to do it this convincingly, that just tears up the script that every home team has, which is nobody comes into our house and pushes us around. They took care of business today.
Yeah, they pushed around, and now the final stages of this one. Throwing is Wilson. They'll lock it with a grab over the middle. Give him 12 yards on that one. It earns him a fresh set of downs.
Some think that teams really won't throw a slant route unless you have a receiver that has a lot of stature to him. But sometimes the little guys, they get lost in there. People can't really locate them, and they run that quick cut on the slant, and oftentimes they can turn it into big plays.
Wilson. He's going to launch this thing way downfield. And got his man complete. And all the way in, touchdown Seattle. Doug Baldwin, 82 yards. And the Seahawks add on to their lead.
And to me, that touchdown allows you to start grinning widely on your sideline. I think they pretty much locked this one away.
Yeah, that's the clincher, the proverbial icing on the cake, if you will. Hauschka now to send this one away following the score. And here's Lewis. And they're going to start this drive in pretty good shape as they get it up past the 30. And the Bills getting set to go. Let's just be frank. They're playing for pride at this point.
That's all that's left, because victory, not a chance now. And I can't wait to see how they actually go about doing it, because there are a lot of people watching the body language of the guys on the field now, and if they call plays they want executed, they need to do that and do it really well. Otherwise, there could be repercussions.
We'll see how they handle the waning moments of this one. One man on the backfield. That's McCoy. They go play action here on first down. He'll hit Watkins on the crossing route. And he's going to be out of bounds, but able to take it inside the 40-yard line.
And when an offense is doing a nice job selling the play-action pass, a lot of responsibility shifts to the linebackers. They're the ones that have to determine run or pass and get to the proper places on the field.
Now Taylor. Now a desperation throw deep downfield. Incomplete. And we're down to 8 seconds now.
And when all else fails as a defender, when you're not there in the coverage, your best friend is exactly what we saw there. A big play shot taken by the offense. Unfortunately, it ended in a big drop.
Escaping the pressure right. And it's knocked away and incomplete. Robert Woods, former USC man, the intended target. And it's third down. And the offense looking to pick up the first down after the second down incompletion. One last shot for Taylor. Flushed out right. And his pass is intercepted for the 4th time today. It's the Pro Bowl quarterback, Richard Sherman. A road win in the National Football League. Charles, you never take that for granted, no matter who you're playing, no matter where you're playing.
You take it and you run with it. And you know you primed the pump all week in your own home facility. No one thinks we can do this. Only people who believe are right here in this room. And then you go on the road, band together, and get it done.
I gave up 22 in the fourth.